Hello, Honey Badger Metaverse. Kevin Flaherty here. I'm here with Chantal Lopes. This is going to be a first 60 days with eXp interview. Good morning, Chantal.
Good morning, Kevin.
So I've been looking forward to doing this interview because you're a top producer in the company, probably in the top 1% of our former company in any event. So what I'd like to do is just kind of unpack why you decided. Well, why don't you start off by telling us a little bit about your real estate business and where you're at right now?
So I've been in the real estate world for 10 years, 8 years licensed, and I worked for my mother for 2 years. I received the Diamond Award with my former company in 2021. I hit close to 20 million in sales in 2021.
And that's like their highest award, right under overall top
yes.
producer, right? That's like
Diamond Award
level. Yep. Okay.
I don't have a team. I work by myself. I have 4 school-aged children.
All under the age of 10.
Yes, all under the age of 10, very busy. And my business primarily comes from family, friends, past referrals, and community events.
Okay. Can you tell us a little bit about, like, you're doing really, really well. Tell us a little bit about your community events.
So what I try to do is, obviously the pandemic affected it a little bit, but Easter, Christmas, and Halloween, I partner with local businesses. So entrepreneurs, small businesses, I get them to come out. I have a vendors market. I invite families in the community, everything at no cost. We usually accept a donation either for the food bank from the families or a donation in terms of funds that we donate towards a local family whose both children have autism. Wow. And she also runs a local business called Beat This. And she's actually out of Vaughan. So it's just a way to get the community out, to give back, and to meet local families on a personal level so that they can see me face to face and know that I am a real person, I have a family, and that I'm here for their real estate needs.
Now, you've been doing this for a while, haven't you?
I have, yes. So I started doing it when I moved to my area. So I started in 2016 with my events.
Now, this thing has grown. Like, people in the community almost seem to expect this event now, yeah?
Yes. So our events, we usually see anywhere from 500 to 600 people through our events on any given day.
Holy smokes, what a tremendous success, and what you're doing to help the communities is absolutely phenomenal. This kind of stuff obviously makes a big difference. It's a lot of work. I know you put a lot of work into this stuff, but makes a big deal. So that's just one of the areas that you're getting success from, and so now you've made the decision. You literally came over like 60. What's the date today? What time is it? Little over 2 months. Just a little over 2 months. So you're 60 days. So tell us about, you obviously made the decision to come to eXp, and you're being very successful. You were being very successful where you were. Tell us about what, unpack what you thought and why you made the move.
So the move actually happened very, very quick. I met with you, and I made this decision super quick because I think I was looking for a way to facilitate my day-to-day in real estate, to have that support so that I could dedicate more time to growing my business and servicing my clients. But I also, what really, really attracted me to make the move was the mentality that I have the support, we support each other, and one success is everybody's success.
Right. Okay. One big fire. Yeah. Was there a research process that you went through while you were thinking about it?
So I watched the videos, which was very important in helping me make my decision. Obviously, passive revenue was intriguing to me. The fact that I would have support from qualified professionals in icon training, at which you'd normally pay thousands of dollars for, to have that available at my fingertips was also very intriguing, because it just made me more knowledgeable as a professional, made information available to me, in turn allowing me to better service my clients.
Right. So, all right. So the videos you watch, those are the ones that I sent you?
Yeah.
Yep. So I handpicked a bunch of videos and I sent them to you. And okay, so you watch those videos. The icon training. So just for people that don't know what that means. So in our eXp Metaverse, which is a 3D virtual environment that has classrooms, you can put up your hand. There's over 50 hours a week of live training, but the training is done basically from the top producing realtors in North America, from all over. And that's why there's 50 hours a week of it, and almost any topic you can think of that you're interested in. And to get that level of training, well, first of all, I don't know, you at no cost can you buy that anywhere, because I don't even know where it exists other than eXp, because generally in the old model, agents don't share, and the top producing agents don't share. And even if you were to try and entice them to share, you'd have to pay them a lot of money, because they could be out selling homes making more money, right? So they don't share, and plus they don't want to bolster their competition. So so that was important to you. So that training. Okay, what else was important to you, do you think?
So I like the fact that in order to make the switch, it really wasn't going to demand any downtime from me. So in terms of my marketing, you guys have eXp has a full marketing platform, which was just kind of plug and play, which obviously as a real estate agent, we are paying to have marketing templates drawn up for us. So to have that offered to me, just plug and play, facilitated my day to day. And that one was a big one for me. The fact that I was going to make the switch and I was going to be provided business cards to start. It just made the switch very, very easy, because everything that I questioned or thought that was going to be very demanding of me actually was facilitated and significantly better than what I was using.
Yeah. So yeah, because I remember thinking that too, because I had all kinds of signs, and I had vehicles and trailers and offices with signs, and I all over online. So one of the things, and you figured this out too, because basically what he did is eXp allows you to self-brand. So your signs can pretty much look the way you want. All I didn't reprint my signs or anything. That would have been incredibly expensive. I put an eXp sticker over top of my former brokerage's logo and drove on. That was essentially it. When we were talking just before we started the interview, you mentioned that you get a lot of questions about cards and things like that. The cards, like I don't actually should know this, but I don't know how many, but I have boxes of them. For $200 is $199 your setup fee, Canadian, and it includes cards that are already designed, so you don't have to have them designed or anything like that. You give them your picture, and you've got your cards. And then you mentioned the marketing center, where basically it's really, they've got door hangers and flyers and postcards and anything you might want to produce, and it even pulls the images from MLS and helps, like, it's kind of like just point to what you want, and not a lot of knowledge to be able to come up with some pretty good marketing stuff. Did you use the sticker on the sign kind of idea?
So I did, yes. And I'm in the process of getting more signs printing, because I have 6 listings coming to market.
Yeah.
So I'm getting more signs printed.
You needed more signs anyways, wasn't
Yeah.
this?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
It's just and I did rebrand myself also. So with the rebranding, I'm just taking the opportunity, because I have a bunch of listings coming to market, to take advantage and get some more signs drawn up. But also, obviously, you speaking and giving me a call and giving me the opportunity to join eXp, looking at where you also came from and how you were a top producer at our former brokerage, was also enticing to have you on board and have live calls with you and have your full support. And along with that, I have access to the Honey Badger Nation and Honey Badger Metaverse, which that in itself is priceless in helping me grow my business. And you've been obviously a huge contribution to me wanting to join, because when you look at where your success rate, you're kind of a guru.
Yeah. So when we partner together, like inside this model, we partner together and we're, incentivized to help each other. That doesn't really exist in other models, right? alternatively, you would have to, and this is what I did, long time ago, before eXp ever existed, was I paid close to $2,000 a month to have a coach and receive training. And I don't mean training like 50 hours a week by icon agents. It certainly wasn't that. And it was, basically, I got the coach for 2 30-minute sessions a month kind of thing. And so it's very expensive to pay for coaching, because again, the top producers aren't really incentivized to help their competition, and or just their time helping others is more valuable selling real estate. So it creates kind of a challenge there. So tell us about the onboarding process. So if somebody's watching this and they're thinking of maybe joining, tell us kind of step by step about the onboarding process. Did I just lose you? Oh, there you go.
We cut off for a minute.
Yeah. Okay. So tell us about the onboarding process.
The onboarding process was very, very, very quick. I essentially got an email. I signed everything I had to sign. I sent over everything I needed to send. There was little to no downtime, and it was done. It was 24 hours. I was switched over and transacting the way I always transact.
Yeah. Now, what about when you got there? How did you know? There was some initial training for, important stuff like FinTrack and, do not call lists and stuff like that. Tell us about that.
So that was really quick. It all got kind of in eXp world. It was all laid out for me what training I had to do. So I hopped on, really straightforward, actually a good refresher. And that's another thing that is actually very enjoyable about eXp is they're extremely thorough, which essentially takes a lot of liability off of us because it is so thorough. And to have that training and being constantly up to date, again, it's making sure we're constantly doing our due diligence and servicing our clients.
Yeah. So if somebody's watching this and they go, well, I know about FinTrack and I know about the do not call list and I know about these other things. With this company, it's not complicated training. They need to ensure that right? Like they have to be able to say, if you violate the do not call list, then you say, listen, you had the training, you had a quick test after it, you proved to us you were paying attention during the training with your test, you got a certificate saying you know about the do not call list, now don't violate it, right? Now the company has to do that kind of thing, even though you might be fully familiar with all of the regulations around do not call list or fully familiar with FinTrack. But those certain things they need to ensure and how long would you say, so there's a set of mandatory things that you had to go through, and it's not like you didn't have to go at a certain time or anything, you could do it on your own time, right?
On my own time.
Yeah. And how long would you say that took, like, just to get that stuff under your belt?
I did it one shot, so I'd say I was at the computer for 2 hours, give or take.
So 2 hours, you had all the mandatory stuff put away and you're ready to trade. Yeah. And I mean, you use SkySlope with your former company.
I do use I did use SkySlope, and we're using it now, which to me, I was very familiar with. Again, very easy to transact. I did find that the way we handle deposits is phenomenal.
No
more running around to banks and trying to get wire transfers and delivering checks to brokerages. The fact that it's just done from an app on my phone, for me, is fantastic.
Yeah. So just a little bit about that. So that, like, I love that, by the way. So just yesterday. So I sold the home. It was my listing. I sold the home, and he's down in another city. I'm here. And basically, so this isn't the app, but there's a link you go to. You just fill in buyer, seller, listing, address, send. He gets the wire transfer instructions and he deposits the money, and then we get sent a receipt from eXp, and it's already in SkySlope. And I don't even know how it happens, but it took me 60 seconds to fill in that one link. Now, if you get a check, like you're talking about, we have an app on the computer. Now, the check could be for two things. It could be deposit with respect to a deal, or it could be, well, and by the way, this isn't even happening anymore, but if it did happen, if you had a check, commission check from a lawyer and you have to get it to the company, both of those ways, take a picture of the check, you literally quick forms, fill in, what deals this related to, who are the agents, a couple basic information, send, and it's done. No more running around like it would be archaic. And by the way, what I noticed was I had to actually ask what was happening, because the lawyers were suddenly, I guess they're getting wire transfer information for closing day. So it's not like, oh, you know how there used to be checks and you used to mail them out to the brokerage and that took forever and the brokerage would get it and they'd be lost in the mail and all this stuff. Well, the lawyers, if you're the listing agent, the lawyers are sending, or eXp sending the lawyer information, the wire transfer information. We don't even do that. So like, I mean, it's just, I broke a record in December. This was just after a couple of weeks after you got on. This had never happened before in my career. I got paid the same day a deal closed. Like, I was like, I was actually confused. I was confused. I'm like, I didn't understand where the money was coming from. And it was just the amount that I tied the two together. And I'm like, oh my God, that just closed today. That just closed today. So that has never happened in 3 decades I've been in real estate. That has never happened.
No more waiting 2 to 3 weeks to get paid.
Yeah. Now, in all honesty, what happened was when I joined, their app wasn't functioning. They were just building it. And they had some staffing issues because the company was growing so fast. So in all honesty, there were some challenges with timeframes getting paid. And then they identified it. I think, some realtors play, hey, this is taking too long to get paid. But man, did they ever fix? They went out, they hired, they got in front of the ball, and that has all been fixed now. And man, when I saw that get paid on the same day it closed, that was really it was our listing, so it was quick that way. But man, that I'd never seen that before. So that's pretty cool. So you got the app, you had the mandatory training. Now, what about eXp? Now, I know. So first of all, when you got on, there was Christmas. And then
we got COVID.
Yeah, your family got COVID. So I was like, can I say this? So you were Christmas and then your family got sick. So that's all part of the 60 days. So you kind of set you back. It's not a necessarily good, fair comparison, this 60 days, but have you been into eXp World taking classes?
So I've done some of the trainings. I've sat in on I did the Ontario, it was one of the mandatory, the orientation, so Ontario orientation.
Yeah.
So I did that one. I took part in a kind of accounting course, how to set up your goals for the year and set up your gross commission to be and how to achieve that, and the three major ways you gain your business and what you can do within those ways to continue to grow your business. So that was interesting, and how to lay out my accounting for the year, and to have access to the spreadsheets and all those documents really facilitates even my tax season, which is coming up.
Right.
So I've done that. But even in contracting COVID and Christmas is actually downtime is probably the best time to reflect on my goals for this year. And it was great to do some training. And despite the COVID and all the craziness, it was still very, very grateful because it could always be worse. And it just gave me the opportunity to sit back and kind of rezone in and recharge to see what my goals are, what my objectives are, and grow and take advantage of some of the trainings.
Right. So, and you just you looked through the menu and went, hey, that would suit right now. And they had that training there for you.
So what I do is I go in and I look at the schedule, and I like to look at the schedule over a course of 2-week period. And one of the fantastic things is when there is a time difference on what is actually essentially on the schedule to our time here in Ontario.
Yeah.
But what I actually like is that I pick out the courses that I want, and it actually pre-populates the courses and books them into my calendar. And then through my cell phone, I know that I'm going to get an alert to say, hey, you know what, you booked in, you really wanted to do this training. Here you go. So it's nice because life gets busy and we have clients, and it's nice to be able to do to look at the schedule and book it in. And if it's there, you're committed. You booked it in.
Yep.
You allocated that time to do that training.
Yeah. So you're going to have it blocked out, time blocked out of your schedule.
Yeah. Well, actually, one of the trainings I did recently through eXp was, if it's not in your schedule, it doesn't exist.
Exactly. Time blocking is a big deal. Okay. So I love that. So you looked at what was coming up for the next couple of weeks. You picked out the ones that you were interested in. Tell us about the variety of topics, like 50 hours a week.
So KV Core training is available. We have, obviously, there was the Accounting 101, setting your goals. You had the Ontario orientation, which helps you figure out who you're contacting, who your points of contacts are. It gives you a real rundown, so that you're not constantly having to ask questions. Trying to think off the top of my head what else there was. There was the FinTrack training. There was, I can't think of any more off the top of my head. Maybe you can.
Okay. So you mentioned KV Core in there. KV Core is basically, for those who don't know, it's like essentially the world leading CRM, HDX, IDX, lead generation CRM platform in the world for realtors. And it's given to you free at eXp. Yeah. And lots of training in eXp world, because I think there's like 25 or 20, don't quote me on this, but 25 or 26 ways to generate leads free. And then there's also just an easy button where you can have the marketing team in behind KV Core market your platform for you, and leads come in, and you manage them in that CRM. It'll even post to like social media stuff for you across your platforms, and it's local to the area. So basically in the spring when I joined, I set this thing up, and I told it where all my platforms were. It's very easy, like easy stuff. Actually, we got some added training on this porch because this was interesting. But actually, you know what? Just so you know, I paid for my team plugin to get this extra feature. So I don't know how much it is individually, but what this feature was it keeps posting stuff and relevant content on your social media platform. And so I said it, and I kind of forgot about it. And my wife came up to me and was like, so about the flowers, and she starts talking to me about these flowers, and she starts talking to me like I know what I'm talking about, because I know nothing about flowers. And I said, I paused her. I'm like, what are you talking about? She goes, well, the article you put on social media about what flowers to plant in the spring to make your home more attractive and stuff. And so I made a point afterwards to make sure I was reading the articles that it was helping me publish, and it was relevant to home sales and things of that nature. And it was a great article. But she thought it was me putting it out. So I thought that was kind of funny. All right. So you got KV Core, you got some training in there. Tell us about like what's the eXp Metaverse, and you went and sat in on some classes. They were live. Yeah, you did recorded stuff, and there's stuff you can do on your own time, especially the mandatory stuff. But the ones you're picking, these are live trainings that you picked. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's nice that I kind of can go in and see, hand pick the courses that I'm going to benefit most from in my business. And there's an array of things that can be done. And there's also training on how to really bring and partner with other realtors in the business. And just in my first 60 days, I've got 6 leads, and we've had 1 call, and projection to bring to partner with, to have a realtor partner with me come March, and then I'm at 6 leads. So that's been great. I'm getting a lot of positive feedback.
I know of 2 that's coming on with you out of your already. So that's like 2 basically committed. One's in March and one's coming shortly. And then you've got the other ones already. And you're still, I mean, wet behind the ears, you just arrived, right?
Yeah,
Um,
but for me, it's been I've always there's realtors that I've mentored and helped them get into the business, and they've always kind of came to me for questions and how do you do this, how do you do that. So now it's like, hey guys, let me share with you what I do, how I do it, and I'll be here to support you. And they're just like, oh, wait a second, but I get to still be me and
yeah.
not have to use your signs. And I said, well, yeah. And they're like, yeah, let's sit down. We need to talk about this.
And you do it free. You
Yeah.
don't, it doesn't even cost
And you
anything.
know what? Help when you help a colleague or a local realtor and help them grow their business and do better and be better. In turn, I believe that allows you to be that much more successful.
Yeah. And in eXp, you're incentivized to do that, because you don't, it's not a portion of what they make, it's from the company dollar, but you get money based on how many people you bring in and how productive they are. So now what happens if you brought somebody in and they're not selling real estate, you don't get anything, right? But so now you're incentivized to not only bring them in, but make sure they're successful as well. And quite frankly, you're easily in the top 1% of realtors, like at your production level, like easily, probably in the top half of top 1% of realtors somewhere. But someone would be, blessed to have somebody like you showing them, even if you started showing them, hey, here's an event you could do, just duplicate your event system.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the popularity, amazing what you're doing with that event.
And I don't just become a face on a postcard in your mailbox.
Right.
I become that person who, yes, you may see my face on a postcard in your mailbox, but at least 3 points of contact throughout the year, I get to meet you. No, like so many people in my community, I know their families and their children by name. I have their children's birth dates. I can send out gifts on their children's birthdays and say, you know what? Hey, I'm not just somebody who wants to sell your house. I care about you and I care about my community.
Wow, that is so powerful. Just helping somebody set up something like that, or it basically, here's the bottom line: success leaves clues, and if you copy what successful people are doing, you've been doing that for a while and you're getting great results, but you have to start somewhere, and you can start doing that or other things that you're doing that I know are very successful. So when you're in the top 1% of all realtors, that's the kind of people you want to hang around, because you get great ideas that actually work.
And the support is there. That's one of those things that, when I joined, there's always that question mark in the back of your head to say, how effective is this support system going to be? And I think I can't even off the top of my head, I don't even know, but we've had quite a few calls. You check in regularly, and it's not kind of, hey, we just want to sign you up, join, and we're going to forget about you. You've definitely been a cheerleader, and I felt 100% the support, and you constantly check in, which I'm not just a number on a trade sheet. I'm now somebody who has, and it definitely flared up my passion and drive for real estate again.
Nice. Well, so now that you've been with eXp for 60 days, tell me how you feel generally about the decision.
I'm so happy, and I think I was at a boxing class recently, and so happy.
Did you say boxing class? I mean, after all the calls we've had, I didn't know you're a boxer.
Yeah. So
okay.
I was at my Thai class, and I actually partnered with a lady who, luck would have it, was a realtor. And it's like when you meet realtors, even just generally, I find that I'm excited to tell people, and it's like I can feel the excitement, and it's like you want to share because there's so many ways to be successful in the business. Yeah. And the
Hi there. Okay, so we lost you for a second.
Perfect. Yes.
So I'll tell you exactly where you left off. It was I think you had just, what was the last thing you said now? Hold on.
Realtors being concerned about not having the time to make the switch, and they felt it was just going to demand too much time. I actually found the opposite. I found that I not only have more time for my day-to-day, because eXp is facilitating so much of what was taking up or consuming so much of my time previously, where now I have more time to dedicate to my children who are homeschooled, by the way, which is phenomenal for me to be able to have that extra time. I'm having time to dedicate to my health and working out. I'm having more time in my home, more time for my clients, more time to build my business, because on the back end, so many things are being taken off my plate. So that was also a concern of mine. Was I just going to make a switch and kind of just be forgotten, be a number on a trade sheet? But after I made the switch, I realized, wait a second, not only am I excited, but now I have more time to dedicate to other things. And that really excites me to tell other realtors, because we are busy and real estate demands a lot from us. And we have families, we have our own lives. But the fact that what happens on the back end, and the apps and the services that are provided to facilitate our day-to-day transaction just frees up so much more time for our lives, for our clients.
Yeah. You don't have to be a graphic designer to come up with some stuff. Yeah. And okay. Well, listen, Chanty, welcome aboard. I'm looking really forward to the future we're going to be building together. And like they say in our Honey Badger group, we'll either see you at the top or from the top.
Right.
We'll talk to you soon.
Take care, Kevin.
Bye-bye.
Bye.